What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Ticker Fee video and welcome to the Ticker Fee family. So the symbol we're going to be talking about today is LKCO or Luokung and why they fell 16.6% in March. Then we'll talk about the executive order of 13959 and then we'll finish the video off with the NasDaq rule regaining compliance. So I'll talk about that, break it down, tell you the information that you need to know. That way you can make the best decision on this stock. So for those that have been supporting me, as always, again, every video, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So if this is the first time you've ever heard about this company or you're just tuning in for the first time, I've been talking about this stock for a while. So I just wanted to point out, if you actually click on my channel, you'll be able to see that I've been talking about them. And so what I did was break down their company, what the latest information is. And so if you want to click on that, you'll be able to be updated. But if you've never heard of them, what they do is they're a spatial temporal big data processing technology company. And they're a leading interactive location-based service company, and they're based out in China. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That way you can have a better understanding of what's going on. So if you actually look at the chart, one of the first things I want to look at is the S&P 500. So now it's down negative 0.41%. The NasDaq is down negative 0.99%. And then the Dow is up 0.16%. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the chart, because that's going to be an overall little indicator sometimes why the market goes up and goes down, unfortunately. But it is one of the catalysts. It's small, you know, it's not major, but it is one of the catalysts. So again, keep that in mind. So what I'm looking at here is with the trend line. So as you can see, it's roughly around, I'd say about $1. I would say about $1. And as you can see, it's been pretty resistant. So I'm super thankful to finally get through March. As you can see, we had some pretty high trading in March with 55 million. Now, if you actually fast forward to today, you can see that we've have 5 million in trading. So there's a lot going on here. And so I'm going to just give you all this information. Hopefully you can make the best decision. But as you can see, in the past couple days, we're looking in the red. Now, thankfully, you're looking at on the 8th, we were in the green. Now, even with that being said, you've got the wick. So there was some buys and sells that dropped just a little bit, but it still closed higher than what it opened up at on the 8th. Now, fast forward to today, looking at the 14th, you've got 5 million volume, but with that being said, it did close lower than what it opened up as. So let's check out some of that information. Okay, so why Luokung stock fell 16.1% in March? Now, with that being said, as you know, the dip happened in March. Now, there was a lot of correction going on, but also there was a bigger catalyst. So the stock lost ground due, which I highlighted, to the regulatory concerns impacting the Chinese tech stock. Now, what was that? So for the recap, this China-based mapping technology company had been placed on the U.S. Department of Defense list of the Communist Chinese military companies. So for those that have been owning the stock this far, they understand that that was announced earlier last month with March. Now, with that being said, the company published a press release in March announcing that it had received that letter from the Department of Treasury Office of Foreign Asset Control, confirming that any restrictions on trading its stock for U.S. citizens would not take effect now until May 8th, which is great information, which you want to know. Now, the letter also stated that the U.S. citizens would be able to divest from their positions through a period extending to March 9th, 2022, if the delisting were to occur. So that's the main recap of what happened in March. Now we are in this new window in April, but with that being said, this is the overall recap and what's been going on and what was one of the major catalysts for this stock. So now what? So Luokung stock has continued to slide early in April's trading. Now the company's shares price is down roughly 3.9% in the month so far, but from the charts, what I've just shown you earlier, the trending line and the support and the resistance are pretty equal. Now, as a result of the delay, and this is good information, Luokung will have the time to challenge its inclusion on the list of Communist Chinese military company, which I will continue to update as more information comes out. Now here's the thing. Early indications suggest that the challenge could be successful. So why is that? So the Chinese hardware marker XIAOMI, right, recently scored a temporary injunction on carrying out the executive order preventing U.S. investors from trading the stock on the grounds that the company could suffer irreparable harm in the form of serious reputational and unrecoverable economic injuries. So, Luokung has a market capitalization of roughly 400 million and is valued at approximately 7.6 times this year's expected sales. Again, good information to know. So let's rewind the clock a little bit on November 12, 2020. So former president, which I thought, again, this is good information, President Trump issued the executive order of 13959. So that's where that comes from the Department of Defense, would have prohibited the U.S.-based investors from trading LKCO stock as early as March 15, 2021, which now we know it's been pushed even further. So on the other hand, the U.S. has a new presidential administration which might not necessarily want to classify Luokung and other similar Chinese businesses in this way. But with that being said, with the other company, it's a good case study to show that there's a possibility that we can be in good terms, especially when you have skin in the game with this stock. So I actually pulled up the executive order, and so the executive order of 13959, there was a few things I wanted to highlight. So November 12, 2020, addressing the threat from security investment that finance communist Chinese military companies by the authority vested by the President, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. So finds that People Republic of China, so you might hear that PRC, is increasingly exploiting United States capital to resource and enable the development and modernization of its military, intelligence, and other security apparatus, which continue to allow the PRC to directly threaten the United States homeland and the United States forces overseas, including by developing and deploying weapons of mass destruction and advanced conventional weapons. And this is going to be cyber-enabled actions against the United States of the people. Now, with that being said, the other thing is this. Here's the specifics that you need to know. Any transaction in publicly traded securities or any securities that are derivative of are designed to provide investment exposure to the securities of any communist Chinese military company of this order by the United States beginning 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time that is 60 days after a person is determined to be a communist Chinese military company, according to Section 4AII or III of this order. Any transaction in publicly traded securities or any securities that are derivative or designed to provide investment. So basically within those 60 days, that's when you're going to be at fault. That's when things are going to start changing for you and the stocks. And as you can see, that's what we're going through now. But again, I have a huge passion with this company. I've got shares in this company, so I need to be updated on what the latest information is. And so I wanted to point this out. Now, with that being said, let's actually check out the NasDaq rule. Okay, so if you actually look at November the 20th, as you can see, if you actually look at the trend line, nothing had much change. We actually had 481,000 volume on the trade. But if you fast forward in February, as you can see, looking at this large green body in the wick, we had a high of $3.86. And there was a lot of volume. There was 154 million compared to the 418,000, which is a major difference. Now, with that being said, you can even see the wick. As you can see how much it climbed all the way up, and that's how we almost had that high of $4. Now, with that being said, there was a correction, and I'm pretty sure most of us are happy to finally get through March. Nobody enjoyed that for any of the stocks as far as I know. So with that being said, now the trend line is pretty equal, especially when it comes to the support and resistance. Okay, so this news just came out. So Luokung regains compliance with the NasDaq minimum bid price requirement. So there was a few things that I highlighted. So the NasDaq stock market notified that the company had regained its compliance with the NasDaq capital market's minimum bid price requirement. So the letter noted that as of April 8, 2021, the company's evidenced a closing bid price of its ordinary shares at or greater than $1 per share minimum requirement for the last 20 consecutive business days from March 11th through April 8, 2021. So this is where the NasDaq rule comes in, which is going to be 5550A2. So let's check that out. Okay, so for the NasDaq notification letter, so this is what I found out in the research. So the NasDaq may, in discretion, require an issuer to maintain a bid price of at least $1 per share for a period in excess of 10 consecutive business days, but generally not more than 20 consecutive business days, before determining that the issuer has demonstrated an ability to maintain long-term compliance. So this is a major deal when it comes to the penny stock, when it comes to the dollar. So in determining whether the monitor bid price beyond 10 business days, NasDaq shall consider the following 4 factors. So the margin of compliance, the amount by which the price is above $1 minimum standard, trading volume. A lack of trading volume may indicate a lack of bona fide market interest in the security at the posted bid price. Now, the market maker, the number of market makers quoting at or above $1 and the size of their quotes, and the trend of the stock price. Is it up or is it down? So again, it's very pertinent for this $1, right, for the stock to be at least at that share price of $1 and above $1. So just wanted to point this out because this is going to be one of those catalysts that can bring it into that positive mode and have that upward trend, which is all the things we need to while we're going through this. Okay, so the great thing is about this situation is that the trend line is staying there. We're getting the support. There is some resistance, but as you can see overall, that trend line is staying the same. So that's what I keep harking on, but I want to give you the latest information. And so that's what I've got so far. I hope this was extra added value for you to make the decisions, whatever that is. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do enjoy giving you the most update information that there is. So again, I really do appreciate you listening to this video. And with that being said, welcome to the Ticker Fee family.